Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
When you hear voices singing, let's be jolly.
Right around 10:10 on this 12th day of December, just 5 days away from the Big Shabuzi, the Rally for the Rep big show with John Goodman's going to be there. The event starts at 7:30 p.m. Bex Redmond, the Associate Artistic Director of the Rep, on the Zoom. I'm used to phones, Bex, you know.
I sure do.
How's everything been this last couple of weeks?
You know, it's been crazy, but it's been really exciting. The atmosphere is really good over here at the Rep. We're all rallying really, really hard and getting ready for this big event.
Well, and it seems like this is going to be a great way to really support the local art scene because, you know, time and time again, years ago, my girlfriend at the time, her mom made a lot of the signs for the Repertory Theater whenever she was working in that business. But just now, the fact that arts alone are so important and crucial for so much of our region, and to be able to rally behind a long-standing theater is a really great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and we're so grateful for everybody's support so far, you know, especially post-pandemic, you know, returning to live events, returning to the theater has been really challenging. And you know, same with things like inflation and a lot of the things that our current economic climate is dealing with. And the Rep is so important. It's so important to St. Louis. It's been a cultural institution here for such a long time that we're so grateful that so many people are coming to this event and that have helped with the campaign so far in general.
So to help all of our folks over on the Illinois side that maybe haven't really gotten the full scope of what you guys are up against, take us through that timeline. When was it starting to come to fruition that, hey, we need to do something here to really kick things off again?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that post-pandemic, it was a really slow start to kind of get back to what we were hoping was going to be more of our normal. And, you know, we went through last season and things just haven't been really picking back up the way we were anticipating. And we were still very, very hopeful at the start of this season. And we've had some phenomenal productions this season, like the Lehman trilogy. We had Twisted Melodies. And our current production of It's a Wonderful Life is a really, really beautiful show. But unfortunately, audiences just haven't been returning at the rate that we were hoping. And so a couple months ago, we made our public press release announcement that we are in a financially hard moment and that we really need more people to rally around the Rep. The campaign is called Rally for the Rep. And it just seemed that the productions and the scope of the productions that we were planning on producing this season, we just haven't seen the people and the revenue returning at the rate that we were hoping to continue our rest of the season. So this campaign, the announcement of needing this $2.5 million is really in response to needing this money to get us through the rest of our season, which we have other amazing productions coming up, including Moby Dick in August, Osage County. So a couple months ago, we really made the public plea for some help. And, you know, help, it comes in all different shapes and forms. You know, you can help just by telling your friends to come to the show or by attending this benefit event. So it's really just about getting people to come to the theater and really support the Rep in this moment.
Well, and on top of that all, too, I mean, just of what you said, making the public announcement, because I'm sure internally, you know, the writing's on the wall a little bit, you kind of know. How did it feel whenever you made that release as a team? Because that's always a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience, too. But it seems like everyone at the Rep's really unified.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal staff. I mean, the thing that makes the Rep is the people. I've said that since I started working here. It's an incredible group of people. But I mean, it's scary. I mean, this is people's jobs on the line when you say that you might not be able to continue. So there's a lot of fear behind having to make a public announcement like that. And there's, you know, I think one of the hardest things that I've personally felt really challenging, and it's been one of the things to navigate for me the most, is that everybody wants someone to blame for this, when really this is such a compounding effect of so many different things that have led us to this point, including the global pandemic, including again, like I said, inflation, including people not being interested in certain programming. There's a compounding effect of so many different things. So, of course, it's a really, really scary announcement, but I couldn't be more proud of the way that the staff has banded together to really support and persevere through this time.
100%. And then Bex, with your experience in the arts world, whether it's in plays or musicals, you name it, to me, this is such a crucial institution. And I think that you'd be an individual that really knows how crucial the art scene is to have something like the Repertory Theater in St. Louis. And from your words, what makes Saving the Rep, rallying behind it, so important for the longstanding of culture and arts in our area?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great question. I mean, I think one of the things that people don't actually know, that's a very localized thing to know about the Rep, is that the Rep provides the longest contracts for some of our union employees in the city.
Wow.
So, for instance, our carpenters and our scenic artists and our electricians, they get the longest contracts with the Rep. I mean, they go over the summer to work at the Muni and at other places, but those contracts are so much shorter. So we are responsible for some long-term employment for a lot of people that would actually have a pretty big rippling effect on other cultural institutions should the Rep no longer be here, and not being able to provide that employment to those people, some of those brilliant artists that we have in our community. So that's kind of one really interesting, like, economic tidbit that I think for the Rep, makes sense for its survival. And then also, the Rep is one of the biggest, I think it might be the biggest, producing LORT theater in Missouri. And what LORT means, LORT is the League of Resident Theaters. It's a title that Equity, we work with some of the unions that provide certain stipulations, but it's a very prestigious, responsibility. And we produce all of our own shows. We hire a lot of local artists. We hire a lot of artists from out of town too, who are very excited to come and work at the Rep. And that makes us have a really big national presence as well. And to have, a big producing theater in town is a huge honor, and is something that most cities do have. And it's really a cultural pinnacle and icon for the city. And I think in our next iteration of what we grow to be and what we hope to be after this moment is a real place for cultural tourism here in St. Louis.
Well, and it's needed. I mean, it definitely is needed. And also, like you were just kind of hinting on a little bit, I think a morale aspect of it too, because when you start losing the entertainment districts of your region, whether or not it's the Rep, and God forbid, maybe it's, even the smallest things, it all adds up to the bigger picture. And whenever you have so many artists and talented individuals flocking over to the Rep, trying to get, onto your guys' platform and your stage, that's a huge moment to lose out on in the St. Louis region and throughout the entire Metro East, because it all trickles down.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I'm also just so proud of at the Rep is our real commitment to cultivating the next generation of theater goers, whether that's through our student matinee programs or through any of our learning and community engagement programs, where we go into schools and we, have a program called Story to Stage, where we're going into schools and we're teaching playwriting to young children. And then they come to the Rep and they get to see what a play looks like fully produced, and be able to sit there and say, like, I can have a career doing something that I love, doing something in the arts. And the Rep has such a big commitment to what we call lifelong learning, which is not just, cultivating the young theater goers to then grow into older theater goers, but also making sure that we are always a place where anyone of any generation can come and be and experience art, which I think is just so incredibly powerful and is kind of the point of art in general.
100%. And there's multiple ways that folks can help support this campaign. And one of the ones that I think is the coolest thing is the raffle for the Rep. Okay. You can't just, when I say raffle, okay, don't just look at me at home on your television right now going, all right, a basket. How about, I don't know, Adele live in concert in Vegas? Whenever you're able to compose, so many really cool gifts and ideas and really these incentives for people to support this, how did all of those come about?
I mean, it's been a beautiful collaborative effort. You know, our development team has been working extremely hard, not only to produce this benefit event, which I'm sure we'll talk about on the 17th, but also to put together this raffle and, you know, asking people who are friends of the rep or having people just come to us who have things that they want to contribute for the raffle has been so wonderful. And I mean, yes, the Adele tickets are, you know, extremely special and exciting, but it's also people like the Muni who are donating, you know, VIP packages to their productions because, you know, as a whole, we are an ecosystem of arts organizations and we're all here to support each other. And that I think has been some of the extra special love in this raffle is having our friends at other organizations also saying, hey, we want to help you out.
100%. And then another thing I want to make sure our audience kind of thinks about is just how hard this is to really do. I mean, we see all the campaign stuff now and we see it all, we read it all, but to put all this together is no easy. I'm sure you guys are looking up at Mount Everest going, where do we start? You know?
Yeah.
How long of a process was all this to come together?
I mean, we've actually been working on a very tight timeline. I mean, we only announced the Rally for the Rep campaign a couple months ago, and then from there, it's been kind of full steam ahead. I mean, it has been, again, I know I've kind of stressed this multiple times, but like the staff at the Rep are the thing that is making this work. The staff are the thing that is keeping this engine running. But the timeline is not ideal because obviously the stakes are very, very high. So we're working under extreme pressure right now. And not only are we producing things that are supplemental or that are very campaign specific, but we're doing that on top of the work that we're already doing in producing our season. So it is a huge load and we are working very, very fast, but it's because everybody both feels the gravity of the situation and also wanting to make sure that we can keep going.
Absolutely. And with if someone couldn't make the Rally for the Rep or maybe can't do the raffle, there's still ways to support the Rep, like going to those great shows. I mean, I was on the website a couple of minutes ago before we got on Zoom here, and I'm thinking A Wonderful Life throughout as a radio broadcast would be really, really cool. And is there ways that we can buy tickets for that still? Are they still open?
Absolutely. We run until December 23rd. So please come to see the show. It is really spectacular, I will say. So it's set in a 1940s radio station as if people are doing a live radio play. And then the lines sort of get blurred between the radio and the actual story of It's a Wonderful Life, which, as I'm sure people know, is such a poignant and special story as well. And the thing that I do want to say about this particular production, because I think it's so important, is that it's all local actors. Which I just think is so incredible to come and see and experience their talent and their, their joy on stage. It's been a really fruitful production and people are loving it. It's great for the family. So absolutely get tickets to come see this show for the holidays.
Absolutely. And then if you have the time on the 17th, that's a Sunday at 7:30 p.m., you can head on over to the big holiday benefit experience, Rally for the Rep with John Goodman. And I'm sure a few others are going to be making their way in. You know, this is where I'm really good at, Bex. I say the floor is yours, Senator. Please fill us in on who's coming down, how we can be a part of it, and all the excitement that's at the Rep the 17th.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So we have our benefit experience featuring John Goodman on the 17th. John has been so supportive of the Rep during this time. It's really been magnificent. You know, he offered himself to come and be a part of our campaign, and we're just so honored to be able to have him. So the evening is going to be centrally focused on a conversation with John Goodman, which is just so incredible. But it will also have a musical performance by a group called the Lovettes, which are a Chicago-based 40s, 50s singing doo-wop group. Ozzie Smith is also going to be at the event, which is very, very exciting, and some other special guests as well. And this is a true moment to come together as a community to celebrate the arts, to rally behind the organization, to see John Goodman and hear him speak about his own experiences working in the arts. And we're just so thrilled that we've been able to have this come together. So please join us. It's going to be really, really exciting.
Bex, for your end of things, just in your role, just outside of the campaign with the theater, it's got to feel really cool knowing that the impact the rep has, where you're bringing in huge names to come in and really have this great campaign experience on the 17th. That's got to feel special too.
It does feel special. I think it's a great reminder that the work that we're doing is being seen. You know, I think that there are a lot of heroes in this story, and John Goodman is absolutely one of them, but the staff at the rep is a huge part of that. So to be able to be backed by people who have a bigger platform than maybe we do as individuals that want to stand behind the institution and talk about why it's been important to their journey or to their upbringing it feels I don't even have the words for how it feels. It just really feels like a beautiful moment of community and celebration.
Well, and too, on top of that all, as you were, we were kind of talking just a couple of minutes ago about the fact that you guys already have, performances scheduled for It's a Wonderful Life. Whenever you have all of this going on, how does the layouts change, and how is it to kind of set up, make sure everything's ready to go, and then switch it all the way back for that performance?
Oh boy. Well, we're going to see how it goes. When I say that the timeline is tight, we have a matinee performance on the 17th. So as soon as that show comes down, we are completely switching the stage, switching the lobby to make sure that we're prepared for this benefit event. So again, I would not sit here and say that it's not a lot of work, but the work is worth it. And I hope that people feel that when they come to the event, because everybody here is really, working at 100 miles an hour right now to make sure that all of these things feel extra special.
I had to ask because I figured there was a matinee on that Sunday. I just had a feeling, and Bex, through it all the performances you've been a part of, what makes, in your words, the rep so special just for you? Because it seems like you're really living a dream job for so many in this in the industry. What's it like to be at the rep, and what's the rep mean to you?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. The rep for me and theater in general is about storytelling, and it's about being able to sit and experience a variance of perspectives and being able to be entertained and challenged and leave with more conversation than you came in with. And so to me, the rep, I've already talked about how, to me, a lot of what the rep is based on the people who work here, but it's also based on the stories that we tell, and it's our ability to get people lost in the magic of storytelling and the magic of live entertainment. And, I've worked at the rep now for about 4.5 years, maybe 4 years, 5 years. And I'm constantly impressed by the conversations that leave the theater and the way that people are thinking about different worlds or thinking about stories in a really profound way. So the rep to me is a place where you can lose yourself, where you can find yourself, where you can join community. Right now, there are only so many places that people are able to, share space with other people and have a collective experience. And the rep to me and theater in general is a place where that will always happen.
100%. And, I think you segued it perfectly to this point, is all that comes together really on the 17th. Everything you just said, community, the love of arts, and all of the things that make the rep special, that's all being celebrated at 7:30 p.m., December the 17th. And now, are tickets still available online if folks are able to make it out there that Sunday?
Yes, they absolutely are. And there are different ticket prices. So you can get whatever seats you want. There are different sliding scale prices, so don't be deterred by the highest or lowest price.
Well, or even better yet, you send it to your brother or sister-in-law, whoever you want to compete with at the dinner table, and that way whoever gets the expensive ticket gets bragging rights. You know, I think we make it fun, Bex.
Absolutely. Yes.
And with that being said, I hope that all of you guys please go to the Repertory Theater website. That's the rep.org, correct?
RepSTL.org.
Rep ST. I knew I would miss something, Bex. I always do. But please go and check it out. If you can't make it on the 17th, that's a Sunday, please go to any of the other shows. And Bex, this is something, I mean, just for us, theater's huge over in this platform. We do everything we can to promote our local theater as well. And to be able to talk with you over at the Rep, and which I consider a big stage, it's really cool and means a lot to us. And is there anything else we need to get out before we say goodbye for now?
I want to say thank you back. Thank you for, thinking that this is a story worth telling about the Rep right now. We are deeply appreciative for you letting us talk on your platform and for you and for all of the people who are listening, I am also reciprocally grateful for the opportunity to talk about something so important.
Absolutely. And there are meet and greet tickets left available for the 17th. That's a great Christmas gift, of meet and greet with John Goodman, and then a great event, a holiday benefit experience, Rally for the Rep, coming up on the 17th. That's a Sunday of December, featuring Ozzie Smith, the Lovettes, and really the raffle for the Rep too, all available online. Bex, thank you so much for your time, and please join us whenever you have anything else to fill us in on, okay?
Thank you. Of course I will.
We'll take a quick break. A daily show on a Tuesday rolls right around the corner right after this in the heart of the 618.